This custom component will add galvanizing or vent holes to base plates or end plates. It's been tested on base plates and end plates modeled using baseplate 1004 and endplate 144. It will cater for rectangular and circular tube profiles as well as I-beams and channels. I'll minimize this view and we'll start off by applying the component to this tube column baseplate arrangement. If we look at the options available in the component, we have variances of 2-hole patterns, 4-hole patterns for I-beams, circular hollow sections and PFCs or channels. I'm going to set it to a 4-hole pattern, apply the component, start the component, and we pick the base plate first and then the column. We can see the options we've got available to us. We've got options to be able to control the hole diameter. So if I zoom in a bit closer there, I've set the hole diameter to 26 diameter. You can see the hole adjusts in size. I can also set the bulk grade. You may decide to add a bulk grade for galvanizing holes in particular. So in this case here I've added one here. So I'll change that over so I can then define or isolate galvanizing holes on the drawings. We can nominate for cases where the plate or the edge of the base plate gets really close to the edge of the column. We can nominate a minimum edge distance. You won't get that in this situation so much, but you will do in different cases where you've got maybe end plate connections. You've also got the option to nominate the clearance here. So we can, by default it's set to 2mm clearance. We can increase that to say 4mm. You can see it pushes the holes inside further, or reduce it back to 1mm or whatever value you prefer. As I alluded to earlier, we also have different patterns, so I can change it to a 2-hole pattern, hit modify, or we can do the 2-hole pattern, reverse, and switch it over to that side. And the same controls again for edge distance and internal clearances can be set. Close that down now. If I move across to the next example where we've got an I-beam there, double click on the component and I'll change it to a 2-hole pattern, apply that, again pick the base plate, pick the column, move that over to the side, and we can switch that around to the other options. So there's also a 4-hole as well as a 2-hole reversed, or down to the 4-hole pattern. And again the same clearances here, so if we want to increase that even up to 10mm, we can then push the holes out. If I pan across now to the circular pattern, I set that to be the 4-hole pattern there, apply, pick the component, pick the base plate, pick the column. We've got 4 holes, and pan across again. And this time we'll choose channel, apply that, pick the component, pick the base plate, and pick the channel. As I mentioned earlier, the component's also been designed to work on end plate connections. So if we've got this example here, if I change it to a solid representation so I can see it a bit more clearly. If I come back to here and if I change it to an I-beam pattern, I'll put the 4 holes in, pick apply, pick the component, and this time it's click the end plate, then the beam. We can see it's put the holes in there. If I change it to the shaded representation, you can see the holes going through, and again the same clearance options are available. So if we double click on the component, we can reduce that back down to 1mm, and that pushes the holes closer into the corner there. Now in this case here, because the upper holes and the lower holes are close to the top edge of that end plate, we may decide here we want to increase the edge distance to say we don't want any closer than 15mm from the corner, or from the edge of the plate I should say, and that moves the holes 15mm clear of the edge of the plate. If you need to model these types of galvanizing holes, I think you'll find this component really useful. If you'd like more information or want to purchase a component, please visit my website at www.tekconservices.com.au for more details.